You're not tired. You're just undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're just wasting time. And deep down, you know it. Every scroll, every snooze button, every wasted hour is another nail in the coffin of the man you were supposed to become. While you're sitting there, paralyzed, distracted, your future is bleeding out, and no one's coming to save you. This is your intervention. You're not behind because of where you were born. You're behind because of how you use your hours. Most people don't need more motivation, more books, or another inspirational video. They need to stop wasting the minutes between their dreams and their discipline. You're broke, you're distracted, and you're stuck not because life is unfair, but because you've treated time like it's some infinite generous friend that'll wait while you procrastinate. Bolt. Time is cold, ruthless, and non-refundable. You'll never get a refund on a wasted hour. And that's what makes it the most valuable thing you own. People fear losing money. They fear being cheated out of $100, 0 cents. But they give away days, weeks, even years like they're disposable. And then they cry when the future shows up and slaps them with the results of their own apathy. You want a better life? Get serious about how you spend your mornings. The man who owns his first hour owns his whole day. The man who owns his day owns his future. You cannot afford to see how the day goes. That mindset is a guaranteed ticket to mediocrity. You have to wake up like there's a war outside, like the world's trying to make you average, and every minute you don't fight back, it's winning. The only difference between the winners and the watchers is that the winners took time seriously before they had success. It wasn't after they got rich that they became disciplined. It was their discipline with time that made them rich in the first place. You think you're tired. You think you're demotivated. No, you're disorganized. You've got no plan, no urgency, no structure. You wake up at random, you scroll until your brain is mush, you chase dopamine all day long, and then wonder why nothing in your life is moving forward. Let me be brutally honest. Your schedule is a reflection of your self-respect. If you respect yourself, you guard your time like your life depends on it. You wouldn't let strangers rob your house, but you let distractions rob your minutes. You wouldn't hand over your car keys to someone careless, but you hand over your daily hours to things that give you nothing in return. Your future is being built or destroyed by how you use your next hour. That's the truth most men ignore until it's too late. You want hope? Here it is. You are not trapped. You're just untrained. You've been lied to. You've been told success is luck or privilege or some hidden secret. It's not. It's math. It's reps. It's what you do from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. that builds the life you're begging for. And the best part, you control it. You can fix it. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to win the next hour. Then the next. Stack those wins. Stack those hours. Time compounds faster than money ever will. You don't need more motivation. You need structure. You need to look in the mirror and say, every hour I waste, my dream gets further away. Because that's the truth, and the truth, when accepted, becomes your weapon. There's a reason the world is run by the ruthless. It's not because they're the most talented, it's because they waste nothing. Not time, not energy, not chances. Every second is a soldier, every hour is a war. And they win because they attack time like it owes them something. You want to change your life? Master your time. Stop negotiating with laziness. Stop debating with your comfort. Every time you hesitate, you give weakness room to grow. Every time you delay, you invite mediocrity into your future, and then you act surprised when success doesn't show up. It didn't ignore you, you ignored your time. But here's what no one tells you. Every man has a comeback moment. One defining day where he stops lying to himself and starts acting like his time is valuable. That day can be today. You don't need a Monday. You don't need a new month. You need a mirror and the courage to say, from this moment forward, I run my hours. They don't run me. You want to feel proud of yourself? Earn it. Track your time like it's gold. Wake up with purpose, move with urgency, build something. The dopamine you get from scrolling is weak compared to the power you feel when you're locked in, focused, disciplined, and unstoppable. If you don't change now, then when? Next year? After another setback? After your dream dies in front of you? No, the time is now, not tomorrow, not later, right now. This is your hour. Own it, guard it, dominate it. Because every second you waste is a second you'll wish you had back when the game is over. There was a point in my life where everything was chaos. Not chaos in the world, chaos in my mind. I'd wake up whenever my body felt like it. No structure, no urgency. I didn't know what day it was, let alone what I was supposed to do with it. I'd lie to myself saying I was figuring things out, when in reality, I was just killing time, one lazy hour at a time. And I remember this one morning vividly. I looked at the ceiling above my bed, a cheap apartment ceiling with cracks and stains, and I felt something I couldn't shake. A deep, choking regret for time I couldn't get back. Not money, not relationships, time. And that was the first moment I realized I was poor Not because of what was in my wallet, but because of what I allowed on my calendar. People think I became successful because of some secret. There's no secret. There was just a single decision, a turning point, where I looked at time not as something to spend, but as something to invest. Every minute I waste is a minute someone else is using to beat me, I told myself. That sentence haunted me. I imagined other men out there waking up earlier, working harder, planning better, saying no to comfort while I was saying yes to laziness. That's when I knew the competition wasn't just against the world. It was against every past version of myself who wasted time thinking he had more of it. And the truth, I lost years. Not because I wasn't smart, not because I wasn't capable, but because I didn't treat my time like it was sacred. I treated it like it was air. Always available, always around, never running out. That was the lie. There was a man I once met, billionaire, quiet, powerful, moved like a shadow through the room. I asked him what made him different. He didn't even blink when he answered. I schedule my life like a surgeon schedules surgery. My hours are not suggestions, they are law. That hit me like a freight train, because deep down I knew I was casual with time. I let emotions dictate what I do. I let comfort sneak into my routines. But this man, he wasn't rich because he was smarter. He was rich because he was militant with minutes. His success wasn't explosive, it was engineered. Every task, every call, every meeting, every training session, it was all carved into a clock with purpose. And once I understood that, I rewired myself. No more guessing, no more waiting for motivation. I ran my days like a general runs a battlefield. Ruthless, unapologetic, sharp. I stopped chasing the weekend. I stopped living for vacations. I became obsessed with what I could build before 8 a.m. I realized the world is designed to distract you. The notifications, the apps, the entertainment, it's all there to steal your focus. And if it can steal your focus, it can steal your life. So I went ghost. I cut the noise. I started managing time like it was gold dust in my hand, slipping through no matter how tight I gripped it. And as I did that, life began to change. Not because the universe bent to my will, but because I bent my time toward my mission. One day, the bank account changed, then the cause, then the respect. But none of that came before I learned this brutal truth. Success is nothing more than consistent hours of effort aimed at the right target. And let me tell you something people won't say out loud. If you don't master your time, someone else will. Your boss, your bills, your excuses, they'll all own you because time doesn't care who wastes it. It just moves on. The most dangerous thing about time is how silently it leaves. 1 minute you're 21 thinking you got forever. The next you're 35 wondering where the hell the decade went. That's why I tell every man, wake up early, train hard, schedule everything, and guard your hours like they're diamonds in your pocket. Because if you lose money, you can make more. But if you lose time, that's blood you don't get back. I look back at that version of me, the one who woke up at noon, who hit snooze 5 times, who thought tomorrow was a valid strategy, and I feel 2 things. Rage and gratitude. Rage because he almost killed my future. Gratitude because I buried him. That man no longer exists. I killed him with a calendar and a clock. I became lethal with my hours. I became a weapon of productivity. And now, I own every second. I don't beg for opportunities. They come because time respects me now, because I respected it first. You ever sit down for 5 minutes and realize you've just wasted 5 years? That's how time hits you when it's gone. Quiet, subtle, and then one day it screams. It doesn't tap you on the shoulder. It punches you in the face and says, you could have been a millionaire by now. And you know it's right. That's the pain no one wants to talk about. Not the pain of failure, but the agony of wasted potential. Because failure at least means you tried. But wasting time, that means you didn't even show up. That's the regret you carry forever. Not the things you did, but the hours you gave away to nothing. You ever wonder why you feel anxious, why you scroll for hours and still feel behind? It's because your brain knows the truth. It knows you're supposed to be doing more. It knows the gap between who you are and who you could be is growing. And every time you choose distraction over discipline, that gap becomes a canyon. And eventually you stand at the edge, looking across at the man you were meant to become. And you realize it's too far to reach now because you didn't run. You waited. You sat around thinking life would come find you. Let me tell you something brutal. Life doesn't reward the passive. It devours them. There's a war happening every day, and it's not fought with guns. It's fought with minutes. Every scroll, every snooze button, every wasted hour is a bullet to your own progress. And the scariest part, you're the one pulling the trigger. No one's stealing your time. You're giving it away like it's worthless. I'll start tomorrow. You've said that for years. You've made peace with procrastination. You've befriended laziness. You've let comfort blindfold you and walk you off the cliff of mediocrity. And while you sit there pretending things will get better when the time is right, real killers are grinding. They don't wait for the perfect time. They build time into a weapon. You know what's terrifying? The idea that someone with half your talent is winning. Simply because they respect time more than you do. They didn't need to be smarter, they just woke up earlier. They just stopped making excuses. They just said, enough. That's what separates the powerful from the pitiful. Not intellect, not opportunity, just pure, calculated time usage. If you mastered that, you'd be unstoppable. But you're here, stuck in the loop. Because the clock doesn't pause when you feel tired. It doesn't freeze when you're unsure. Time moves whether you move or not. And if you don't chase purpose with urgency, you'll be left behind by people who do. Think about this. Every minute you spend watching others live is a minute you could have spent building your own empire. That's not motivation, that's mathematics. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. What are you doing with them? Sleeping 10 hours, arguing online, waiting for a sign? Time doesn't care about your feelings, it rewards execution. And if you're not using it, you're losing it. The man who understands time doesn't chase women, clout, or trends. He chases progress. Because he knows when you respect time, everything else chases you. The worst part, most people will never change, not because they can't, but because they're addicted to wasting time. It's a habit, a disease of delay, and they defend it with pride. I'm just relaxing, they say, as if they've earned it. Earned what? Comfort without conquest? You don't get to rest when you built nothing. You don't get to scroll when you haven't earned a scroll. That's why you feel empty afterward. Because your soul knows you traded potential for pleasure. And it's screaming at you every night while you lie there wondering why you're not fulfilled. That's not depression. That's your potential grieving. Let me give you something to tattoo on your soul. Discipline with time creates freedom. Indulgence with time creates slavery. Most people are prisoners not of chains, but of their calendars. They've scheduled failure into their day by choosing ease over evolution. But not you, not if you decide now, because it's not too late, not yet. Time is brutal, but it's also merciful if you act now, if you take control. If you become the type of man who looks at a clock and sees possibility, not pressure, that's when you win. That's when you dominate, when every minute bends to your will, not because time changed, but because you did. You want to be dangerous? Be the man who never wastes a second. Be the man who wakes up with a mission. Be the man who builds days like blueprints for legacy. That's not just success, that's power. That's how you crush the weak, the lazy, the distracted, because they're too busy wasting time and you're out here turning every hour into war. You become untouchable, not because of what you have, but because of how you use what they take for granted. Time. You are not unlucky. You are not cursed. You're just undisciplined with time. That's the raw truth no one wants to say to your face. It's not that the world is against you. It's that you haven't made time your ally. You haven't built your days like a fortress. You haven't weaponized your hours. You've been walking through life like time owes you something, when in reality, you owe time your life. Every second you breathe is a loan, and one day it gets collected. That's the game. That's the pressure. But also, that's the power. Because the man who realizes that doesn't panic. He rises. He doesn't complain. He constructs. Every second becomes a brick in the empire he's building. No delay, no hesitation, just ruthless movement. Because he knows every second that ticks is either helping him or haunting him. You don't need more money, more motivation, or more followers. You need more control over your time. You don't need to win the lottery. You need to win the morning. People out here acting like they're stuck, but they've got 24 hours like everyone else. You don't see the chains around your wrists because they're made of distractions, not iron. You think you're free while you scroll your future into the trash. You think you're relaxed when you're actually rotting slowly in comfort. I'll start tomorrow is the most dangerous lie ever whispered into a man's mind. Because tomorrow doesn't come wrapped in guarantees. It shows up already half spent, already invaded by excuses, already under attack by the old version of you that loves wasting time. If you don't kill that version of you today, it will kill every dream you've ever had. And it won't do it loudly, it'll do it quietly, one missed opportunity at a time. The harsh reality is this: the future belongs to the men who can master a single hour. Not the month, not the year, just the hour in front of them. 1 hour of pure focus can outmatch a week of unfocused noise. But most men don't understand that. They think productivity is some grand event. No, it's war waged minute by minute. It's looking your old self in the eye and saying, not today. Today I win. That's the difference between kings and clowns. One sees time and bows, the other sees time and bends it. And you got to ask yourself right now, which one are you becoming? Because time doesn't wait for your excuses. It doesn't stop to let you catch up. It keeps moving. And every day you don't move with it, it leaves you further behind until you can't even see the life you were supposed to have. But here's the part no one tells you. It's never too late to become dangerous. Time can be turned into a weapon the second you decide to respect it. You can wake up tomorrow and start winning hours, stack them, guard them, protect them like treasure, because time is the most expensive currency you'll ever touch, and the way you spend it determines who you become. You can't fake urgency. You can't fake discipline. Either you control time or time controls you. There's no middle ground. That's why men who win don't just plan their days, they dominate them. They move with aggression, with clarity, with purpose. Every task has a reason. Every hour has a mission, because they understand the ultimate truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your time usage. You want to change your life? Don't start with goals. Start with your calendar. Look at how you spend your time and you'll see exactly why your life looks the way it does. And if you're honest, you'll see the holes, the leaks, the wasted potential dripping out of your schedule like a slow bleed. That's not failure, it's an opportunity to restructure, to rebuild, to come back harder. Because the real ones don't just recover from wasted time. They come back so efficient, so sharp, so relentless that the world has no choice but to respect them. You can be that man. The man who everyone watches and says, how the hell did he do it? And the answer will be simple. You stopped giving time away. No one is coming to tell you to focus. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you success. That's the cruel beauty of time. It doesn't care, but it rewards the obsessed, the committed, the precise. That means if you treat every hour like life or death, life will reward you like a god. That's how you win. Not by wishing, not by manifesting, but by managing every moment with fire in your veins and clarity in your mind. The day you treat time like it's sacred is the day your results become inevitable. Because greatness isn't built in big moments. It's carved into the minutes no one else sees. It's the unseen hours that create the life everyone else envies. So wake up earlier, cut the noise, lock in, stop glorifying busyness and start worshiping precision. Stop talking about potential and start proving it through action. Because while others waste time trying to feel ready, you're out there using time to become unstoppable. That's what separates men from machines. That's what makes legends. The ability to take the same 24 hours and build an empire while others build excuses. Time is your test, and you better start passing it. You've heard enough. You've consumed all the knowledge, all the videos, all the speeches. You're not lacking motivation. You're overflowing with it. But the difference between the man who transforms and the man who stays broken is what he does next. It's not about feeling something in this moment. It's about what you do when the feeling fades. And that's where most of you fail. You chase a high instead of building habits. You seek fire without forging discipline. But I'm telling you now, you don't need another hit of motivation. You need to wage war against your wasted time. You need to walk into every day like it's a battlefield. And your mission is to kill every distraction before it kills you. If you walk away from the speech and do nothing, then you've already lost. Not because life is unfair, but because you had the chance to take command and you chose to coast. That's what destroys men. Not the pain, not the struggle, but the decision to wait. And I promise you, the man who waits is already finished. Because time is not kind to cowards. It doesn't give you space to figure things out. It rewards the ones who move while the rest are still thinking. You don't need more time. You need to stop wasting the time you already have. That's the truth. That's the raw, uncut answer you've been avoiding. You want to become something? Then you need to stop negotiating with weakness. You need to stop making room in your day for mediocrity. Every hour should either build your future or it's burning it down. There's no gray area, no neutral ground. Every wasted minute is a step backwards. Every lazy scroll, every mindless video, every unnecessary nap, it's all a sacrifice of your potential. And you're the one making the trade. Nobody's stealing your time. You're handing it over, smiling, nodding, distracted, and it's killing everything you could be. The version of you that's strong, disciplined, respected, that version isn't born by accident. It's forged in the fire of unforgiving time mastery. You've got to be militant with your hours, ruthless with your priorities, obsessed with your schedule. You need to sit down with yourself, look at your life and ask, where am I losing the war? Because every goal you've missed, every dream you've delayed, every promise you've broken, it all comes down to how you use time. You can lie to others, you can fake results, but your calendar never lies. It reflects your values, your effort, your discipline. If your time is disorganized, your life will be disrespected. You want to be respected? Then respect your time. It's the first sign of a real man, how he manages his minutes when no one's watching, how he treats the morning, how he responds to fatigue, how he shows up when it's uncomfortable, when it's boring, when it's hard. That's what defines winners, not talent, not luck, but time, discipline, the quiet killer of weakness. If your day isn't built like a machine, your life won't be built like a kingdom. Stop winging it. Stop drifting. Stop hoping something will click. Make it click. Design your hours with military precision. Know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and do it like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to stop wasting this night. You just need to reclaim 1 hour, then another. Stack the wins, build the fire. It's a process of domination, not desperation. You're not chasing success anymore. You're becoming it. One disciplined block of time at a time. The harsh reality is this: no one is coming to save you from your own laziness, but you don't need saving. You need awakening. You need to step into a version of yourself that doesn't compromise, doesn't delay, doesn't make excuses. Because this world bows to the man who controls his time, not the man who's talented, not the man who's lucky, the man who gets up before the sun and doesn't waste a breath, the man who doesn't skip the gym, who doesn't scroll for hours, who doesn't miss appointments with his future. That's the man who wins. That's the man who terrifies his enemies without saying a word, because they know he doesn't waste time and he doesn't waste chances. And you have a choice. Right now, either you become that man or you stay average. You either build the life or stay begging for motivation. You either master time or die a slave to distraction. This isn't a speech, it's a mirror, and it's time to face it. Everything you want is on the other side of your laziness, your disorganization, your excuses. And no one's gonna clean it up for you. You've got to rise. You've got to decide today that time doesn't own you, you own it. You dominate it, you bend it, you weaponize it, and you use it to build a life so powerful, so precise, so unstoppable that the world can't ignore you even if it tried. You want to win? Then stop watching the clock and become the reason it moves. Time management isn't a skill, it's a weapon. Pick it up, aim it at your future, and pull the trigger.